This is a download from Rutland Radio.
Hello, and thank you for downloading the Rutland Radio podcast from rutlandradio.co.uk. This is where you can hear the best bits from the last week. It's Rutland Radio at breakfast time. I'm Rob Pisani. As you've no doubt heard, Bank Holiday Monday is a huge day for Oakham. Thanks in part to the Heritage Lottery Fund and the reopening of Oakham Castle. To tell us more about some of the highlights which are happening on Bank Holiday Monday, Councillor Oliver Hemsley, who's portfolio holder for Culture at Rutland County Council, and also Robert Clayton, Head of Culture and Registration as well. Thank you very much for joining us. This is a really, really exciting time, isn't it, for something that's the oldest example of a great hall in the country anywhere.
It is. It's a fantastic asset that we've been so fortunate to be able to really restore to its former glories, and it's something that it's been many years in the planning, and it's great to be able to actually, release it to the public.
So what sort of things have actually been going on, Robert?
I think one of the biggest issues that we've had with the castle is people haven't been able to see it. One of the big things that people always say is, Oakham Castle, where is that? Part of the work that we're doing, and the work that's continuing actually, is to reveal the walls that are around the castle. Originally the castle had a moat and a drawbridge. All of those have been lost over time, but we've still got some really substantial walls, and they were on the Historic England list of assets at risk. So part of the reason we got given the grant was to restore that. That's a huge job, and that's going to be continuing throughout the summer. But the big thing that we're celebrating at the moment is that we've been able to do a lot of restoration on the Great Hall, which is the standing building in the centre of the lovely green space in Oakham with the huge commemorative horseshoes, and we're finally able to show that off in a really fantastic way.
One thing I noticed actually when I went in for the High Sheriff being actually handed over to Sarah Furness was that the painted kind of dock, as it were, of the old courthouse, that's all been stripped back, and that looks almost brand new, the wood there.
It is. That's all been completely refurbished, and absolutely, as you say, one of the other big claim to fame for the castle is that it's the longest continually operating court in the country. We've been able to refurbish all of the dock and the judge's chair so that it looks really, really great. I have to say it's been looking pretty worn. That was originally put in we think, early 1800s. So we've been able to take it back to its original finish, and it really stands out now. It looks really great.
I know there was a lot talked about, when trees started coming out and all this kind of stuff, but you look at it now and you think, I didn't even know half of that was there. We're talking about the walls and the steps as well. Were the steps actually originally there?
We believe that there was an original access way, but we're not sure exactly where it was. So what we've done is we've recreated something that's as low impact as we can so that people can get up and over. And we've got two sets of steps. There's one that will be taking us over into the Burley Road car park Cuts Close side. There's another set of steps that's going to be taking you up on top of the motte, which was the original phase of the castle. There would originally have been a keep on the top of that, so there would have been something. We don't know exactly what that would have been looked like, so what we've done is we've just created an access way up there so that people can actually see out over the castle and out over the town. That's not going to be open yet for the opening. That's something that we're going to be working on through the summer months. We're hoping sort of towards the end of August we're going to be able to open that up so people can enjoy it, but you can certainly see it all now, which is great.
Oliver, this really was a golden opportunity, wasn't it? And, anyone living in Rutland knows that, I suppose like any council, money isn't infinite, but this money's come from the Heritage Lottery Fund to restore something which is virtually of national importance, as Robert was saying.
Yes, it's great that they've been able to do that. The building I've known for many years because my father was a magistrate there for a long time, so I've sort of grown up knowing the building, and it's just fantastic that the money has allowed us to open up the visibility, and I think the opening on Monday is going to be stunning. There's a lot to see, a lot to happen, and it'll be a great atmosphere.
Tell us some of the things that are going to be happening on Monday. It runs between 11 and 4, doesn't it, the opening event? And it doesn't cost anything for anyone to go along.
It's free entry, which is great. There's going to be archery. I think we have a go, actually. There's going to be some coin striking.
We've got a lot of medieval reenactors, so hopefully we're going to have a couple of Norman chargers, which will be parading around for people to see. There's a little medieval chapel tent as well. One of the things that we've lost in the castle, there used to be a chapel and other buildings, so we're going to be recreating those. There'll be quite a bit of information as well about the restoration we've done as well, so people can understand all the work that's been done. And the facilities within the castle have been much improved, so there's more things in there that actually explain to people about the history of the site, so people will be able to get a real feel of, the massive history. It's, as you say, 800 years worth of history that are packed in there.
It's incredible, isn't it? It's the opening of Oakham Castle, the reopening of it, this Bank Holiday Monday between 11 and 4. And thanks very much to both of you for coming in. Oliver, you've anything else to add from a council perspective, other than, I guess, to urge people to come and support it?
I think you've just got to come along and feel the atmosphere. I mean, I've been around the building. I've been lucky to have a few previews, and it's just stunning. Well worth a visit, even if it rains.
And there are actually guided tours as well, which people can book onto, but I guess, there aren't many spaces on those.
They've been going like hotcakes, they really have. So yes, I think we've got a couple of slots in the afternoon, but there'll be plenty to see, as I say, lots of Norman reenactors and other events taking place. I think the only other thing I wanted to add is the only reason this has been possible is because of the contribution that we've had from all of our partners. So been working really closely with people like, we've got a Friends organisation for the museum, they've contributed financially to it, and other groups like Oakham in Bloom, and obviously the council as well have put a bit of match funding in, which has been massively important to make this thing actually happen. So it's been a lot of people all coming together, and hopefully see yourself there as well.
Yeah, we'll be there as well. And Oliver Hemsley and Robert Clayton, thanks very much for joining us on Rutland Radio today.
Thank you.
Rutland Radio's best bits on the podcast.
Oliver.
Abigail, Lucy, Neve,
What's your kind of position as well as children at Oakham CV?
primary sheriff.
What does that mean?
Well, it's kind of like a prefect, and we help out in the hall at dinner times, and we do like gate duty in the morning.
Now we can hear the buzz outside. How come? What's this been all about today?
It's called the Race for Life, where they're coming in out of their classrooms to run around the field and do as many laps as they can and try and raise money for cancer research.
Do you know why this all happens?
So that we can cure cancer.
How many laps were people doing? You've got like loads of...
I've got 12. They were doing quite a few. Even the receptions are quite a lot.
Yeah. Some of the receptions got like 8 laps, and we weren't expecting them to. And also there's been some adults racing as well, doing some running.
And how does it make you feel doing something like this for charity?
It makes me feel really happy because my granny, she died of cancer before my older sister was born, so I never got to meet her, and I just want to find more cures to more cancer, different diseases.
Steve Cox, and I'm Executive Head Teacher of Oakham CV in the Park School.
The Race for Life today, we think this might well be the first in the county. You must be very proud for the children here to be leading the way.
Yeah, we're delighted. It's such an important event, it's something that really touches many of the families within school, the children and their parents and staff as well. So we're really excited to be the school that's doing the first one.
And they've loved it as well. I mean, I've spoken to children that have done 5 laps, 10 laps, some of them up to 18 laps of the school field, and they're really fired up after doing it.
Yeah, I mean, passion is one of our core school values, and they've been really passionate about it. Perseverance, I saw them persevering out there. They have a little slow down for a while, and then they're going again, zoom. As soon as they see that finish line, they really go for it.
What would you say if all the children were listening this morning? What message would you give them after their success?
Oh, just huge congratulations. They made me feel very proud out of there. Like I say, they really persevered and showed great passion for such a really worthy cause. Really proud of them.
This is Rutland Radio.
It's Rutland Radio. It's 7 minutes to 9, Tuesday morning. It's the 24th of May, and the Chelsea Flower Show opens to the public this morning. Rutland Radio's gardening expert from Barnsdale Gardens, Nick Hamilton, is exhibiting as always. I say as always, you've done it for a fair few years, Nick, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been a long time, Rob. It's been a long time, yeah.
And tell us about your area this year that people can see.
Well, we're in the Great Pavilion again, as we are with our floral display, and this year we're looking at Barnsdale past, present and future, because it's 20 years this year since my father died, and we're celebrating what he did at the garden here, what we've done since, and a little peek into the future with our display, focusing on things like the winter border, which we're developing now for the future stuff, and also one or two other bits and bobs. So it's a really lovely display.
What a legacy, actually, Jeff left, actually building that garden on TV. This was the garden that the nation watched in the 80s.
Yes, absolutely, and by the million, and everybody, virtually everybody that I talk to either improve their gardening, were keen gardeners, but improved their gardening by listening to him, or were actually bought into gardening just by watching him as a youngster or as somebody who just bought their first house, and we're really inspired by him. So, it's great to celebrate what he did, but it's also, really nice to look at, it's 20 years is a long time now, and the garden's moved on massively, as it was always meant to, and also just to look into the future. And to be honest, I've literally, just before, I've come on air, I've discovered that we were awarded a gold medal.
How fantastic is that? Many congratulations.
So
from everyone.
really, really pleased. And as always, it's it's a full team effort. We have a small but dedicated and excellent team here. So everybody's played their part in it. It's been really great.
Now, describe the atmosphere at Chelsea this year. I've heard that there's no kind of consistent theme, as it were. There's a lot of innovative gardens, traditional gardens, real mixed bag this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, funnily enough, I was just talking with a member of staff about the guy who'd gone out to Jordan to get inspiration for his garden there and to replicate sort of the way that they garden out there and they live out there and outside it's actually quite different. It's really, really nice. And people are talking about it being by some distance the best Chelsea ever. And it really is inspiration. And I think also inside the floral marquee there's some really fantastic exhibits in there as well, and great. And I have to say that the atmosphere is always wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Certainly when the people outside haven't had the rain and the wind to battle with whilst they've been building. It's been quite dry down there, so really nice. And obviously it was nice to be down there yesterday, for Press Day and the Celebrities Day, and we saw quite a few well-known people around our stand and whatnot, which is really nice.
Well, indeed, yes. The Royals, of course, there yesterday, from the Queen to the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, and Prince Charlotte has a bloom named after her. Mary Berry apparently has a rose named after her as well, I hear.
Yes, that's right. Yes, it was. It's been really nice. And I was actually, funnily enough, I was talking to the head gardener from Sandringham as well, because there was a rose named after them as well. And there's that's the thing. Lots of it's obviously a really good marketing ploy in order to do that, to name your rose after or a plant after somebody well known. But it's surprising actually how many well-known people you see there year on year, and they're not going there because of the hype around the show. They're going there because they're real gardeners, and that's really nice to see that within all that celebrity environment that they live in, that they still get a chance to potter about in their own garden.
Now, talking of celebrity, obviously you're a well-known face here in our small county, a big fish in a small pond, as it were, but you're going to be on TV, we hope possibly tonight. I'm
putting the phone down to you and I'm having to dash back. I mean, they could have filmed me yesterday when I was there, but no, I've got to dash back today and do a bit for the BBC. Funnily enough, I'm being interviewed by Adam Frost. Now, of course, Adam is a local as well, and Adam, really sort of his career took off, I suppose, when he was working here for my father and for me, and has done massively great things, Adam, and has moved on, and deservedly so. But it's nice that he's coming to interview me on the stand, bearing in mind his input here and obviously his connection and the fact that we're looking at Barnsdale over the last 30 years and how we're going to go into the future.
Nick Hamilton, thank you very much for joining us on Rutland Radio. Well, that's it for this week's Rutland Radio podcast. If you have any comments, you can email us via the website, rutlandradio.co.uk, and we'll have a new version on our website from Monday.
This is a download from Rutland Radio. For more information, go to rutlandradio.co.uk.